What is up, guys? Welcome to another free preset Friday tutorial, and today we're going to be making growls in Serum. So let's take a look at what it's going to sound like. As you can see, it has that little delay after it, so I'm going to show you guys how to set this up. Okay, so what I did to start this preset off was I did go in our unreleased wavetables, and I saw one. So now you guys have the wavetable, or at least one of them. And I pitched it down 3 octaves, put 3 unisons on it, turned the detune down, the blend up a little bit. I pulled it down a little bit. It was like that. Pulled it down so there's like halfway. Phase, normal, random, I pulled back to 0. And then just turn the bend plus, minus, and turn the level and wavetable all the way to the left. Now you guys could use whatever wavetable you want. Just watch what I do to this wavetable to make the sound, and you guys can make your own sounds. Next, I turned on oscillator B, turned the volume all the way down, turned it 2 octaves down. And once I go through the oscillators, I'm going to go now into the LFO setup. And what I did in the LFO was, you can see it just go up, down. I double clicked the original setting to get this extra point, pulled it down, made these rounder, and then pulled this up so it has like that whip up. And then as you noticed, it's solid at the end. How did I get that? Well, I put envelope, because trigger would make it keep going, so it'd be like this. But envelope, so now after it plays through the envelope and it goes back up, it's going to stay solid up there. And if you wanted to change the ending, you could obviously change this. So I just kind of want it all the way at the end, and it will sound better once I get all the way done. But next we're gonna go into, oh, one thing, the envelope I did touch just a little bit, and what I did was put up the release a little bit. And then LFO2 is, oh, and they are just on quarter notes. Envelope number 2 anyways is just all the way up, quarter note, and I'll show you guys why it's that way when we get to what I used it for. So set these envelopes up. Now I'm going to go into the filter, and this is where a lot of the shaping comes in. As you can see on the LFOs, I put them across the board, so put them wherever you like. It's just to give more movement to your growl, but you want to use a similar up and down to get the growl going. So anyways, to the filter, I threw everything into it, and I did the high 24. Change the settings a little bit. You're gonna want to switch them, especially if you're using a different wavetable. You're gonna get different results, so you're gonna want to tune this differently. But just take note of how it's performing. So see how it's, whoa, so it's going in at the high points, and then the resonance, the little resonance that I put on it, it gives it that extra like driving tone as it's morphing. So like I said, you're gonna want to adjust these to make it sound good with the sound you are using. If you are using this preset, well, it's already done for you. So that's the front side. Now we're gonna go into the subs and the noise. And the sub is pretty simple, down 3 octaves, level, just doing the movement. And then the noise is just a little, the stock hum. It's like more like a white noise, like tss. Again, you can pitch it to make it sound good with your sound. Just a little bit level on the movement, just to give it a little more depth and just thickness to it. You could barely hear it when it gets to the high point, which is what I wanted. I just wanted it to be underneath the sound, filling it out just a little bit. Especially because I do some reverb when we get to the effects, and you'll see how it kind of helps with that. Then the voicings, mono and legato. So, and what this does is when I play it, I'm able to keep getting different notes at that last part of the sound. And then if I want to get that growl back in, I have to lift up my finger and play it. That's what the legato's doing. And then the mono's obviously doing it, so I can't do chords with it, so nothing will overlap. So it's cool when you could play around with that, and then you also could resample and all that stuff and do further. But I left this all down, didn't really mess with it. I just did the pitching up 12 and down 12, which you obviously could play with it, so it'd be like, and just, you know, whatever. Obviously it's gonna sound better when you map it, but yeah, I just set that up so if you need to pitch, it's ready for you to mess with. So we go into the effects. I did use almost all of them on this one, because I really wanted to get the growl more defined. And even then, I still could set up more mods, but I only set up one for the delay, a big one, to really get more detail in the sound. So let's start with the first one, which is just a little bit of hyper and a lot of dimension at low size. Makes it big and wide, and also throwing it around the stereo image as it's doing the growl, which is cool. Adds more depth. Then I did the distortion, which was the down samples, so it just added a little more grit to it. Then the chorus, you could put more on if you want, but it just adds a little more higher end metallic kind of layer to it. So I just put a little bit on to add into it, fill out the sound. And then the delay is what I have the macro, because you don't always want the delay on, but say like for the intro or the outros or like post drops or whatever, just transitions. And then you can turn it down and stuff. So I put that on there for you guys to mess with in your song. The compressor was the OTT, the multi-band. Just on the mix, messing with it, and I did turn up the gain a little bit. So before, I should have warned you guys that I added a lot of volume to it. Reverb, here's what I was talking about, where that noise kind of comes into play. It helps fill the reverb tail, like it makes it sound just nicer, you'll hear. And it's only going to play at the high point, so if you stop the note at a low point, it won't have any reverb. It's just to make it, when it gets to that big point of the growl, just nice and wide and full. And then also a little tail. Alright, EQ was kind of like what I was doing with the filter, but it just added a little more to it. Now it adds like the wow. So this is without it. With it. So it adds just coolness to it. Like EQs are really good with growls and just really defining wobbles and stuff, getting weird tones with them, because as you can see, it's moving around with the Q. Yeah. Alright. Continue on. Last and not least was a filter. And the way I found this filter, I literally just did the cutoff and the mix, and I just messed with them as it was going. But I was just flipping through these and I just, whatever sounded good I used, and then I kind of fine-tuned it again with the cutoff and mix. So like this was really high and stuff, and then once you put this on, it kind of like filled out the low a little bit and not so much high. And that's it for the preset. Obviously I would go in and then, you know, check it out on the EQ, see that it does go down a little bit, and then, you know, just fine tune it further. So this is this week's preset. Do not forget to like this video and subscribe if you do like this preset and you learned something from this video. This preset will be added to that folder that you guys have access to, and if you do not have access, click the link in the description below. And as always, thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next video.